I wanted to take a break and do more of a somewhat editorial piece here. As many of you know, I despise a lot of the business practices going into Wii's newest console. I've also at least started to make on my sister channel a an indictment of all the things that are verifiably wrong, especially to consumers of the gaming industry and its businesses as they stand, and why, in general, the Wii U is going to be the last console I ever buy if I still decide to go through with purchasing it because I dislike its design. And I'm not the only one who's talking about how in trouble the console market is and how this just can't last as it is forever. Between the ridiculous DRM, the ludicrous DLC practices, to the online transactions, the microtransactions, all of this stuff. And again, there'll be another article that I'm going to discuss after I talk about this one here. But Nintendo isn't doing so hot. And I saw this as early as Christmas when I noticed that even deluxe models, which are supposedly, according to Nintendo's last articles, so in demand compared to the basic model. We've got people within the industry saying that Nintendo's going to have to drop the price even more when they're already making the Wii U at a loss, which partially makes me want to think, well, you know, if I wait 6 more months, maybe I could grab the Wii U Deluxe, which is, to my opinion, as a gamer and a tech individual, the only system worth buying. Because the other one, especially with game, is going to cost you as much to get this is going to cost you as much, but give you far less storage space. And when it comes to when you use up that storage space, you have to use two forms of media, one for game saves, one for game content, because the system is that poorly designed. I'm sorry, Nintendo fanboys, but the Wii was 100 times better designed than the Wii U. But I digress. Nintendo sells 3 million Wii U systems, but expects to take a hit. Nintendo sold just over 3 million Wii U systems worldwide from the system's November launch through the end of December, with over 1.3 million of them selling in America. Both Nintendo Land and Nintendo New Super Mario Bros. U have sold over 2 million copies. Excuse me. The sales don't offset the bad news from Nintendo. Bad news that was expected and seems to have spurred the unusually positive news. News-rich Nintendo Direct showcase of last week, during which the company teased new games from some of their biggest series like Mario and Zelda. Nintendo's dropping its financial forecast for the next 3 months, where they once expected to make about 20 billion yen. They now expect to lose about 37 billion. And why? The earnings forecast has been modified to reflect the lower than expected sales outlook based on the sales performance in the year-end sales season and afterwards. Also, exchange rate assumptions have been revised from 80 yen to 90 yen per US dollar and the 100 yen to 120 yen per euro in consideration of the trend of recent exchange rate situations. Here's a part I want you to pay attention to. Nintendo is blaming softer demand for older systems, including the original Wii. Nintendo also points that the Wii U sales, nothing that they had a, quote, negative impact on Nintendo's profits, end quote. The company now expects to sell 4 million Wii U systems throughout March, a lower forecast from last year when they thought they'd sell 5.5 million. And what's more, Gabe Newell does not consider Nintendo at all to be a Steambox competitor. As stated in the newer article, Gabe Newell says Apple, not consoles, is the biggest threat to the Steam box. In other words, he's not sweating. And these consoles, they're being sold at a loss, although tier, I don't care. I didn't abandon the gaming industry. It abandoned me when it decided to abandon any and all practices that were more beneficial to the consumers than to their supposed bottom line. When they were healthily condemning the things that actually were impacting their services and their media, instead of both idolizing and villainizing pirating and pirates, while claiming that second-hand game sales are an even bigger detriment to the gaming industry, despite the fact that Microsoft is in bed with GameStop and actually has over 60% of their digital sales actually go through GameStop. GameStop is in no danger if they decide that secondhand games are, in next gen, are to be a thing of the past. If Sony and Microsoft actually go through with locking out secondhand game sales, which would be another nail in the coffin for the console industry as a whole, but I digress. Then again, it's not like I can pick up a secondhand say Bulletstorm for PC or no, let me think, Far Cry 3 for PC and be able to use it. I'd then have to pay for an additional CD key, which, as a lot of companies have demonstrated, can be given and revoked at the moment's whim. And even though they've got my money, I have no access to the game that I rightfully paid for. This is why I'm also not exactly happy with the PC gaming market, and why, if you're pro PC all the way, I don't care. I don't hate PC gaming. If anything, right now I'm working on a large 3D modeling project that will try to make over at least one PC game, if not many PC games in the future, using one of many movies that I've enjoyed as a child and that are still enjoyed by people to this day on varying levels. But to say that, oh, it's so much better when you're not, unless you're doing digital, where maybe somebody could somehow resell digital content, which I think would be a smarter way for the industry to go to some degree, they're biding their time, waiting for everything to go digital. Need I remind you of the person who talked about how the Wii U had a disk drive for plebes who don't do digital. Never mind the fact that Tekken 2, Tag Team 2 for the Wii U cannot even fit digitally in its entirety on the deluxe model. So, yeah, you who call people who still buy physical versions of console games plebes, dang, these stupid itches on my face. I just, Now, Sony does have a way that if you did go completely digital, they have a big enough hard drive on their system particularly that could more than handle it. And I applaud Sony for not following Nintendo's business model with the Wii U. You can have fun with the Wii U. I don't want people ganging up on me going, you're just hating Nintendo and the Wii. No, I don't. I have a great level of respect for Nintendo. I do not have a great level of respect for its fan base who thinks that Nintendo can do no wrong. They're doing wrong, especially with the Wii U. But looking at Nintendo Land, which would probably be the main thing I'd play on the Wii U, I can't help but want to just kind of have that game. Plus with Pikmin 3 coming out, and possibly a, what was it, Star Fox Metroid X or Cross game, that would kind of make it worth the cost of ownership. Plus, me and my girlfriend could have a lot of fun with that as well. So there's a lot more to it than just because of the fact that it's not entirely a sit-down console. But it's not innovative. It's not anything near the kinds of things that people hold it up to be. Because just like Sony, they're like, yeah, remember that thing we talked about at E3 that you could play any of the Wii U games on your gamepad while somebody else watched TV so long as the Wii U was on? we kind of are only going to do it on certain games. Just like Sony with their cross control thing only works with certain games and only will work with certain games. Just saying. The consoles are so poorly designed as of lately, I cannot defend them. I can defend the games, I can defend the experience, and I will to a hilt. I will not defend the marketing. I will not defend the financial decisions that are made at the detriment of your average gamer. I'm not going to pretend that everything is perfectly okay and legitimate and there's nothing bad about what the gaming industry as a whole is doing. I'm sorry. You're living in a dreamland if you believe that any of that is what is going on now. And you're being screwed on top of that. And I can't imagine most of you like that. But hey, it's your money, it's your hobby, it's your whatever. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to curse you or call you names or belittle your intelligence if you choose to continue on. But this industry has done nothing but break my heart as of late. And I don't know why. I can't think of a logical reason why I want to pay to continue to have my heart and my balls broken by this industry that I loved for so long.